Welcome to Retro Sports Gamer Channel. I'm Tim Kitzrow from NBA Jam and Mutant Football League, NFL Blitz, and a few other games. Boom shakalaka! Kaboom!
What's up, everyone? I'm coming to you live with a frequently requested game by Antonio Wilson. It is NBA Live 99 for the Sony PlayStation, not the Nintendo 64. I see Troy in the chat. How's it going, Troy? So this one has been highly requested by Antonio, and it is much different than the Nintendo 64 game. Basically, the Nintendo 64 Live 99 was Live 98, and just basically not much added to it. Live 99, they did on the PlayStation, they changed the graphics up a little bit. We'll get to see that in a moment here. More you, less game audio. All right, no problem. Bump that down a tad. So we're going to play on simulation. That's the way these games were built. Even though you could play them on arcade and then all-star. We see Antonio making it in the chat for this stream. Good to see that. This is fulfilling the request for this game. Now, I could say the reason I don't have this game and wasn't interested in it back in the day is because there was the NBA lockout this year, and the game doesn't have the updated rosters or the rookies. So you're getting the same rosters as the NBA Live 98, basically. So I think I just played that game for 2 years, which is why I have such a liking for that particular version. Nostalgic Gamer saying, the thing I loved about the PlayStation version from N64 was you could edit the players unlimited. On N64, you can only edit or create 25 people. Yeah, and you know, I don't know why that decision was made, but maybe just a memory thing with the Nintendo 64. So let's get into a game. I've done enough talking. We'll play on All-Star. 3-minute quarters enough, or maybe make it 5. So as you can see, if this was, well, this is a Chicago Bulls team that was dominant. They played the Jazz in the finals 2 years in a row. As you see them both displayed here. What I like about this matchup screen is it puts in the green which team is better, which is pretty cool that they match them up like that. So the Jazz are going to be good at pretty much everything since they were in the Western Conference. So what teams do you want to see? I'll ask the chat since we have a few people in already. This would have been the game that Vince Carter would be a rookie in, but he didn't make it because of the strike. So I don't think the Raptors are too good. No, they're pretty terrible. And the custom Steelers. Those. So we got Supersonic, San Antonio. We'll put the Spurs in as the opponent. And I'll play as the Sonics. Yep, that's why I still like these games. They're simple, fun. Even the menus aren't confusing. Nowadays, not simple. There's a lot to it. Sometimes just navigating the menus could be a chore. And you just got to spend a lot more time figuring out how to do everything, and when it's supposed to be a game, something fun to give you a break from actual reality. That's not, I don't want to learn a bunch of new stuff, but maybe that's me just sounding outdated in my gaming. Back when you have to use sliders, right? Just it's the skill level that it is. This is on All-Star. I remember playing this game. I don't remember my friends Joe and Bob down the street. They were longtime friends, and when I was younger, they had this game. I don't remember if they rented it or they actually bought it, but that's where I did play this one back then. But me, back as a young kid, I was always into the rookies every year. The basketball cards, them in the video games. So when they weren't there, that one hurt. That one stung a little bit.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Don Poyer, and welcome to Seattle for this NBA game.
This is actually a good Western Conference matchup.
Here are the starters for tonight's game.
My team's not bad, but they're stacked.
The Spurs get control. Robinson takes the
So,
shot.
at first glance, maybe it doesn't look that much different from...
To Payton.
I feel like I'm moving, am I? Feels weird, that's for sure. At first glance, it looks very similar to 98, but they did actually make it sharper. Dudes are live, playing NBA Live. Now that's what I call live. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, same here. Back when there weren't any one and done. Yeah, one and done. That's it. If you don't get next year's game, you're outdated. It's the way the companies like it.
Stolen.
So I'm playing this on PlayStation 2.
With the defensive foul.
I would like to use the analog controller. I'll see if it works for this game. Because I'm using the D-pad and it feels a little bit funny.
Elliott gets it.
Oh boy. Baseball.
Out of bounds. Spurs ball.
Yeah, maybe this controller's messed up.
Elliott takes the jumper. Yes.
We'll see. Gary Payton. But one thing you can see right off the bat is the numbers of the players are very clear. We're in, man, they are just killing.
Timeout. Seattle.
Whereas in 98, that is not the case.
No good. Rebound. Robinson. To Duncan.
Hey, we got him to miss. That's a start.
Rebound. Shrimp to Payton.
I was just using the analog and then it stopped working.
To Hawkins. Up with the shot. Nope.
Gary Payton with the rebound. Okay, now we got something going, finally.
The defensive foul. The basket is good. First team foul.
Hershey Hawkins, a known... Oh, man, it just sped up right when I was... He's a known good shooter. That's why it's pretty slow on the free throws.
To Duncan.
This game, I would say, definitely holds up graphically better than NBA Live 98.
Payton.
It looks a little bit cleaner.
Robinson from the low post. Yes.
Nostalgic Gamer saying, I put so much time into this game back when I could only get a game on special occasions. Birthday, holiday.
10-second violation.
I used to keep my rosters updated for years till I got the new game. Yep. I think a lot of people are in that same boat because the games were so expensive. You factor in inflation. The PlayStation ones were a little bit more cheaper. They were $50. The 64 games were like $60 and $70.
To Johnson. Elliott. Fires. Not there.
Yeah, I might have to switch this up. Yeah, give me a second. I gotta switch the controllers. This one's not working right. NBA Live 2000 want more arcade style? Yeah, I played 2000 not too long ago, and I don't know. They just took a lot of character out of it. But that was on the N64. I don't think the live games were the best on the N64. They're definitely better on PlayStation. Which a lot of other games, you could say that they were better on N64, but not the live series. What's up, burner account? How's it going? Alright, let's see if this controller is better. Alright, yeah, it's so far so good. See if the analog works in this game.
Peyton puts it up. Rebound, Johnson. To Elliott.
I don't know. How do you guys think this game holds up graphically? I mean, obviously, compared to modern day, not good. But compared to other retro games of the time, I think this looks really good. NBA Showtime's best basketball on N64. I disagree. I like NBA Showtime. Obviously, I have the cabinet back here, but it is the best on the Dreamcast. I think the best N64 basketball game is actually NBA Hang Time. It had the right graphic it had the right what am I trying to say? It had the right settings, graphical settings for NBA Hang Time, because it was still a 2D with scaling type of game. It's almost plays exactly like the arcade. Whereas NBA Showtime for the Nintendo 64, it's highly downgraded. Whereas on Dreamcast, that one's pretty much arcade perfect. It's still good on it's still good on N64, but graphically, the jersey numbers aren't there. There's a lot of commentary missing because of the size issue. Antonio says the graphics hold up well. Yeah, I've been playing some of the, like, this game compared to what, NBA in the Zone 98, that was the last one I played. I mean, it's night and day. Like, this looks way better. And that was on Nintendo 64. I'm finding out Konami struggled to pull the best graphics out of the Nintendo 64 with their development. A lot of people, yeah, they say Kobe. I think they have nostalgia goggles there. I think definitely this series is better than the courtside series. I mean, just plain looking at this game, I think this is better than courtside 2. But I'll have to revisit that one. I know Nintendo published it and everything, but those games are nothing too special. Oh, I can't have Gary Payton missing dunks. I don't know, what, in your opinion, what do you think is the best basketball simulation of this era? Because there was a lot of them. You had the Shootout series, this series, NBA in the Zone, courtside. Let's see, what else was there? I mean, there was NBA Inside Drive on the PC and then on the Xbox, but that's going a little bit further. For But then shortly after this one, you got NBA 2K, and that looked better than anything we've seen before.
Let's take a look at the stats.
Like NBA Shootout on PlayStation. Yeah, I did like that series too. I even thought some of the games did look better. Like Shootout 98, I would say, does look better than NBA Live 98 on the PlayStation, but NBA Live 98 plays much better, it has more character, the announcing's better. So there's a lot. There's a lot that's good about the NBA Live series. I mean, basically EA in the 90s and even the early 2000s, that's before they were really viewed as like, an evil dictatorship, trying to have a monopoly on games and leagues like they have with Madden. If I played NBA Live 2002, yes. There's Steve Francis on the cover, I believe. I don't really think I liked NBA Live on the PlayStation 2 until 2003. The first one, 2001's terrible. I played that not too long ago. Well, it kind of does look like David Robinson. So making a little bit of a comeback here. First three of the game, Detlef Schrempf. Fox Sports basketball game. Underrated. It was extremely realistic for the time. I remember Kobe got hurt in the playoffs, came back next game with a knee pad. Oh, really? See, I only remember the Fox Sports college hoop. I don't think I ever played if there was an NBA one. Because, to be honest, there wasn't... Unless they were in other markets, Fox Sports did not broadcast any games in Chicago, basketball games. So, looks like I still got auto subs on. Oh, put a little cross move on him. Hershey Hawkins. I think I'm getting it back in this quarter. Have a chance to tie. Oh, Greg Anthony. That's good off the bench. That one forced up too much.
To Jackson. Lobs it to Elliott. It's good.
Doc Rivers is the commentator in Fox Sports. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that one out.
Anthony with a huge jam.
Anthony's not messing around. He dunked on David Robinson. I don't know how realistic that is, but...
Back to Jackson. He puts up the
trying to figure out how to play defense, and they kind of do it weird. Look at how Anthony, that's how he does the defense, like hand on the back defense instead of two arms up.
Elliott unloads.
I don't know about that.
To McElvain.
Hesitate a little bit there.
Hawkins receives the dish. He fakes the shot.
Hershey Hawkins gets blocked at the rim. That was nasty.
Jackson handles the pass. Not there. To Schrempf. To Baker.
Yeah, I really wish the NBA strike didn't happen that year.
Hawkins.
They played 50 games and played a condensed season. Because if that didn't happen, I would have wanted this game because I love 98 so much. And at that point in my life, I was ready for the annual titles for sure. Would you say today's players and teams are better than the teams from back then? I do think they're better shooters overall. Like 3-point shooters, there's no competition. And I would say the speed of the game has increased. But the drawbacks are the rules. It's really not much of a contact sport at all. I mean, there's still going to be tons of contact out there, but they've tried to eliminate as much of it as possible. So toughness is not as big of a factor as it's been in the past. And you have a lot of acting going on out there because that's how the rules are geared, and it's really hard for the referees to tell when a player is acting in certain scenarios. You know, the charge is probably number one on that list.
It's good.
We don't need to see a replay for that. Gary Payton right to the rim.
The glove off the glass.
That's how you do it. A lot of replays. I don't know why they did the score graphic the way they did in this one in the top left corner. I thought it looked better in 98.
To Johnson. To Elliott. Purdue
I was going to
puts it
say,
up.
if Purdue hits that jumper, it's going to be tough. Kemp, yeah, he was on the Cavs at this
At the end
point.
of the first half, the Spurs lead the Sonics 34.
This is 95-96 is when the Sonics made the finals with Kemp, and then shortly after he was traded. I don't think it was the season after, but maybe it was the year after, mid-season. I forget how that went down. You can do all of the 98 off-season trades in the game, actually.
Here are the
By
stats
default,
from
or
the
you have to
second quarter.
remember what they are? Or does the game actually have them programmed in? That would be interesting.
Here are some of the
Gary
standout
Payton already
players
was
from the
16
first
points
half.
at halftime. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see the halftime show. Might as well. Looks like a generic one. Remember at one point they used to have them for each team. But this one just looks like maybe a Western Conference one. You have to remember what they were. I see. Wonder if any of these cheerleaders knew that they were in this video game. Probably not. You find out, later on how much video games in the earlier days were just the Wild West. Like NBA Jam, with all those hidden characters that Acclaim put in, porting it over. Like they didn't get the permission from anybody. They just put them in the game. It's crazy. I guess people were honored about it, or they didn't really care. All right, 4-point deficit at halftime. Hershey Hawkins. I've always noticed that when thought a team would be great because of some trades or free agent pickups. They would still stink if you simulate a season. Yeah, because sometimes these games, they just program the simulation to be how they originally rated them. So even if they made a bunch of trades, those trades wouldn't actually do anything as part of the simulation. And one, Gary Payton taking it strong to the rack.
First personal foul. Payton makes it.
All right, 1 point game. I don't think I've taken the lead yet.
To Robinson. Great jam.
Oh man, McIlvain just getting dunked on down there.
To Payton.
Gary Payton's fast. He's just getting by.
Shrimp with the assist.
Oh, it's Mr. Magic Tech Omega Sharp Cheddar. Loves the Sonics. What's up? How's it going? It's been a while. Yeah, Supersonics are always a good request for these 90s basketball games. Also, they made it into the 2000s. Kevin Durant, his rookie year, was played on the Supersonics. Did Pippen play for Houston or the Blazers first? He played for Houston. He went to Houston after the Bulls' 98 season. They tried to win a championship. They had Charles Barkley. Didn't work out, and then he went to play for the Blazers. Pippen still had a lot left when he left the Bulls.
Johnson. Pass to Elliott. He fakes the shot from top of the key. No.
Oh, Hershey Hawkins.
Hawkins with a huge jam.
His dunk rating might be pretty high. Tuning in because work sucked. I'm questionable for Midwest. Well, if you're thinking about going to the Midwest Tecmo Super Bowl tournament in Cincinnati, Ohio area, I would recommend it for you. I know you were there last year. If you're in the area, you gotta figure out how to go. For me to go, it's over a 5-hour drive and definitely at least one overnight stay. So it's a little bit tougher to pull off. Tim Duncan hitting deep jumpers. That might be a little bit out of Tim Duncan's range. A little freezing right there. I'm just having the best luck with... Looks like they're double teaming Gary Payton. It's like a 20-minute drive from my house. Oh, yeah. Anything 20 minutes away, I mean, you got to do it. If you love the game... I mean, last year you got to play David Fulcher, who's in Tecmo Super Bowl. That was a classic game. Nostalgic Gamer would love to go one of the events, but he's in North Carolina. Yeah, that's far away from most of them. Even the East Coast stuff, you're further south. Then the Midwest stuff's far away. It's not that much of a Tecmo scene down south. I know Retro World Series threw a few at gaming conventions, but don't hear of too much coming from the south. I think part of it, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, up in the Midwest, the Northeast, there is months where it is cold, nasty outside. You can't, growing up, you can't just go out there every day and in that terrible weather. So you're kind of inside the house a lot playing video games. So I think that's why there's bigger communities in these areas. I was too starstruck. Yeah, It was pretty awesome to be in that situation for you playing David Fulcher. He ended up beating you Packers over Bengals. But David Fulcher does have some game in Tecmo. Yeah, it's all about... Oh, my God. He missed that layup. I guess I can't complain too much. It's the first layup I missed.
1 minute to go in the third quarter.
It's all about that speed in NBA Live. Hershey Hawkins, Gary Payton, they got it. They could get around anyone.
Jackson with the defensive foul. The Spurs are at the
Do a lot of people choose the Bo Jackson's team? They end up in matchups for sure, but the thing about the Raiders, they're about a tier 2 team in that game. And the reason is they have two weaknesses. One is their quarterbacks are not good. They have low pass control, so you got to be careful how you throw with those quarterbacks. So they make them one-dimensional at times. And the other weakness of the Raiders is their interceptions on defense, which means they're going to get less pass defenses when guys are covered. So those are two pretty big weaknesses of the Raiders, even though they got the best running back in the game. You'd like him better than Haddix as a DB personally. Yeah, it's kind of hard to compare offense and defense. Shrimp draining. MC Schwartz, what's up? Ever play Run and Gun? Yes, basketball arcade game. That is a classic. They actually made, and you probably already know this, but NBA Give and Go on the Super Nintendo is made by Konami, the same company. And that's what that game is based off of. But the one on the Super Nintendo has the NBA license, which Run and Gun did not have. But Run and Gun is a fun arcade game. That would be second to NBA Jam in those days. Very good, fun arcade game. There's no fouls in it. A lot of scoring. Tough to play defense, but when you do get a block, it is very satisfying. All right, now I got a 3-point lead going into the fourth. Let's see if I can seal the deal. So yeah, Antonio, I told you that I would definitely get this game next before I bought anything else. I actually got this on eBay, free with shipping for $4. That's it. Which for some people, a sports game, $4 is a lot. But, I mean, considering what these games cost when they came out, it's really nothing. Spent more on that on a coffee, a fancy coffee. All right, can't let this one go. Is Jordan on the Wizards in this game? No. Like, Jordan would be on the Bulls if they would have let him in the game. Or, I mean, if he would have signed his likeness over. All right, now I'm getting a little sloppy. Come on, McIlvain. What the heck's going on here? Ooh, I needed that. I kind of forced it up, too. Sean Elliott. Oh, man. Well, they do have the Twin Towers.
Pass to Jackson. He takes the fadeaway. Rebound.
Come on, Shrimp. Burn these guys up the floor. And he does. Yeah, Run and Gun was a good one. Never really understood how developers decided attributes back known 3-point ratings used to be horrible. I don't know. Reggie Miller was high in 98. For sure. I think it was still something they were figuring out for a while.
Elliott turns.
I always thought EA Sports did a good job with ratings, especially the Madden games. Those were like the holy grail to me, the ratings. And comparing them to like 2K5, I would say they're better, like ESPN NFL 2K5, because I'm playing a season when I'm in the playoffs right now, and I have Vic and Cordell Stewart on the team, and Vic's a 91 speed and Cordell Stewart's an 87, and this is like way after Cordell's prime. So I don't think that speed rating's quite right. 1 point game here. We got a good one.
Peyton takes it hard to the rack.
The Key Arena. Oh man, like
Robinson
that pass is going in, and my defender's just out of position before. Oh, he's gambling on it. McIlvain, he's really just a big body down there. He's never doing much else than defending, and I just lost it.
He's been robbed.
I should have been trying to steal more of this game.
To Duncan. To Elliott. He fakes. Puts up the J.
Big miss.
No good. Rebound. Baker.
Oh,
to
Hershey's
Shrimp.
got this.
Bucket.
Blow by.
With
Played
the
Madden
layup.
99 today, and Randy Moss ratings were questionable, but they probably didn't know he was going to be that great as a rookie. Yeah, no, I don't think anyone knew, because he was a question mark. Because he had some trouble at Marshall,
Duncan takes
and
the
he
jumper.
went lower in the draft because of it.
McIlvain picks up the loose
But,
ball.
oh man, he came. His rookie year,
The low post. Oh,
all
yeah.
guns blazing, with Randall Cunningham as the quarterback.
Strips the ball to McIlvain.
Deadlift, get around the corner. Oh, reverse dunk, Deadlift Shrimp. How long do you think it will take Seattle to get the Sonics back? That's a great question. I don't know, unless the NBA is motivated to add 2 teams at once. I think they will be considered.
Baker
Maybe,
gets the ball to Hawkins.
I don't know,
With the
5 to 10
layup.
years, I would hope. 5 would be nice. What's up, Adam? Yeah, never could be the answer, too. Maybe they never get him back, unfortunately. Now I open up a 7-point lead here.
To Elliott.
Good defense.
From downtown.
Missed the rebound.
1 minute remaining in the fourth quarter.
Looks
Get
at
the
a three.
board.
Duncan recovers the loose ball. To Johnson.
Just don't want to give him a 3 on this possession.
Jackson fires it.
I can't get a
misfires.
rebound.
He's been robbed.
We'll let them rebound and get the steal. Oh, wow. Flagrant.
Picks up the defensive foul. San Antonio
Do I ever
plays
play with the
out
commentary off? No. If the game has commentary, I leave it on.
Johnson is whistled for the defensive foul. Second
That
personal
was always
foul.
an additional feature
Peyton to the line,
of these
shooting
games, so if they
three.
had it, I would like to listen to it. I'm trying to think if there was a game where I thought the commentary was
He misses it.
so bad that I had to turn it off. But nothing's ringing a bell.
He hits it.
We're following a 3. All right.
Peyton sinks it.
Timeout. San Antonio.
So played on All-Star. Got off to a rough start in the first quarter, but once I got the hang of it,
To Elliott.
and this Spurs team is no slouch.
First team foul. To Johnson.
I'm trying to think, when did the Spurs win their first championship?
To Jackson. Looks at the three. Johnson with the offensive
Because
board.
it was when
Jackson. He fires.
they had Duncan as a
No.
rookie.
Shoots.
I don't know.
There it is. The Spurs are down.
If I'm
5-6.
remembering that correctly, as soon as they got Duncan, they won the championship. David Robinson came back from injury.
Goes for 3.
Oh my God, they just came back.
67 to 64, Seattle. Peyton with the J.
But I still get the win. Escape. Tim Kittro, yeah, he's definitely the best sports game announcer that wasn't already an announcer by far. It was in 99. So this is the 98-99 season. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that.
Let's take a look at the stats from the
Got a little scary there when I was reading the chat. They were already down 3.
Here is the
Gary
player of the
Payton,
game.
player of the game. Unfortunately, we don't have the Nestle Crunch player of the game like we had in NBA Live 98. I don't know why they took that out. I like that type of stuff. So, yeah, it was pretty much all Peyton, Hawkins, and Shrimp. Baker, a little bit of action. But I'll have to look up. Might look at the rosters real quick before I sign off on this one, because I'm kind of interested to see what rosters are in this game. Because I don't think Duncan was a rookie the year the Bulls won the championship. So let's look at the rosters. And this one still has that good funk music. Okay, so let's look at the Raptors. They are bad. Grady was a rookie in 97, 98. And then Carter the next year. Moved the Clippers to Seattle. Not a bad idea. I mean, the Clippers, no one takes them seriously from what I hear in LA, but they always have people at the games. This is definitely an NBA champion Utah team. Marishon on the Wizards, he was 7'7". Matumbo led Hawks. Young Antoine Walker. Glenn Rice. This Hornets team is pretty good. Yeah, so this is the Bulls championship roster from 98. Oh, Rusty LaRue, I forgot about him. Dickie Simpkins, Judd Bushler, Bill Wennington, Randy Brown, Scott Burrell, Steve Kerr, Tony Kukoc, Ron Harper. Player, which should be Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, Luke Longley. Move Grizzlies. Clippers want to build an arena in Inglewood. They're having trouble. Hence the Sonic rumors. Interesting. Let the Lakers pay their own rent at the Staples Center. Move Grizzlies. I don't know. Memphis is a smaller market, but they seem to be doing all right there. They've been there a while. Do they show ratings? I'm sure they do. For some reason they show their stats. It's interesting, they're showing their stats. Sure there's a way to do it. Oh, you gotta hit L2. There you go. Yeah, keep the Grizz in Memphis. I agree. Only an 84 for Akeem Olajuwon. So now we got the overall player ratings. Kemp was at 82. Let's just look through all the teams from the front. Now we got the players' ratings in just so we could see. And Tony is talking about a 3-point contest. We'll see about that. Yeah, so it doesn't look like you get in the 90s in this game because like Walker's at 82. I mean, if Rice is a 79, I mean, he was good back then. And Pippen and Jordans are only 85. So yeah, I was just looking at Elijah on 84. Looks like about 85 is as high as you're getting. Kemp 82. Yeah, I don't think the ratings are that good in this game, honestly, because there's not enough variation. Like, guys that are clearly not as close to the star players are right there with them. No Paul Pierce. No. Yeah, stiff ratings. I agree. This is a bad Nuggets team. Yeah, Grant Hill in his prime, 83. Another rough Golden State team. 84, only a 79 for Barkley. But see, like, Reggie Miller's a 79, and then everyone's so close to him. Yeah, there's not much variation in the ratings. Like, is Eric Piakowski really that close to Reggie Miller? I don't know. Shaq's only an 80. Eddie Jones was good. Kobe's a little better than him in this game. Man, Tim Hardaway and Mourning not even in the 80s. Ray Allen, Big Dog Glenn Robinson, only 78s. Garnett got in the 80s with an 82. Gugliotta, 79. Van Horn, 79. Come on, he was pretty solid for a couple years, but yeah, it looks like you got to edit your own ratings in this game. No one on the Knicks in the 80s, not even Patrick Ewing. Anthony Hardaway. Got the 80. Shays, that's the first guy I've seen in the starting lineup that's not in the 70s. Iverson only a 79. Jason Kidd 82. Chapman, McDyess 78. Blazers had some solid teams for a while. They just couldn't quite bust into the finals to give themselves a shot at a championship. Sacramento Kings, Weber, an 80, number 88. Probably trade just happened. They didn't know who or what number he was going to be. Danny, I guess I'll never be as good as my dad, Chase. Yeah, 85 looks like the max in this game. David Robinson and Duncan both 82s. So I just played. Peyton 81. Baker 79. Raptors are bad in this one, but even Christie gets to 77. Ostertag, Malone 83. Abdul Rahim 80. That's good for him, but he was pretty good on the Grizzlies. If they got some wins, he might be an all-star caliber. Wizards, Richmond 81. That's about it. Rod Strickland, Calbert Chaney. So yeah, those are the rosters in NBA Live 99. So I have this game now. I do like it. I do think it is one of the better games on the Sony PlayStation. And in this era, if not the best, I'll have to play it versus Live 98 because that's the one that I really enjoyed and played the most of. But I like what I see from NBA Live 99. If you could pick it up for $4 like I did, it's definitely worth it. I don't think it's rare or anything like that, especially $4. Yeah, I would say anything under $5, pick it up. It's a good game to play. It represents this era quite well before we get to the next year, which NBA 2K came out on the Sega Dreamcast. And then you're entering into a whole nother realm because the graphics were much improved. Yep, we'll save that for next time. 3-point contest. Yeah, we can do that next time. But I have it now. So just, pop in the chat from time to time. Request this game. I have it now so I can play it anytime. Yep, 98. That's my jam too on the Sony PlayStation. Played the most of it. Played a few times. Quite a few times on this channel already. And I will be playing that one again for sure. But everyone, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Dunk contest, NBA in the Zone. Yeah, NBA in the Zone, I think 2000 had that first. I know later NBA Lives did on the PS2. But I've never played that in the Zone one. But yeah, everyone, thank you for checking this out. It's good chatting with you. Everyone has some great knowledge of these games. So it's definitely great to go back and forth. I'll be back soon with some more Showdown Saturdays and just streaming games, talking about them, seeing what I think about them in retrospect. So thanks for watching and take care.